OneSkin addresses skin health at the molecular level, targeting the root causes of aging so skin behaves, feels, and appears younger. Get 15% off with the code RANDOM at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code RANDOM. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. We only have one body, one skin, and only you can choose to make it healthy and better. Age healthy with OneSkin. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/random. That's rocketmoney.com/random. rocketmoney.com/random. Whether you're treating yourself or looking for that perfect gift, now's the time to snag the cookware that everyone's talking about. For a very limited time only, our listeners can shop HexClad's biggest sale of the year for up to 42% off with our exclusive link. Just head to hexclad.com/random to unlock their best deals of the year. Support your show and check them out at HEXCLAD.com/random. The 600 players in the NBA were the best in the world.
Let me tell you what the real problem was with the whole Bronny James thing.
It could take 2 seconds. Does this melon look ripe to you? Yes, my wife is dead. Well, look who's here.
I'm in the house.
And early.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
It's good to see you, buddy.
Hope I didn't keep you waiting.
Not at all. I'm good.
You're on Asian people's time.
No problem. No problem. How you doing?
You liked it so much the first time.
Absolutely. They told me you wanted me back. I was happy to come.
Oh, I definitely do.
Definitely. You mind if I get, because it's the only show I ever drink my Hennessy and Coke on.
Well, it's so funny you say that because I look forward to this not only because I get to talk to great people every week, but it's the only drinks I allow myself. Really?
I got you.
You know, I mean, 2 drinks. I used to have that before I left the house.
That's right.
And now, you're on a short leash when you're older.
Oh, well. You know what? You're aging gracefully. That's what counts.
Yeah, I mean, I think about what a guy like Aaron Judge is going through.
How about that?
What?
The World Series he just had?
Well,
I love Aaron Judge, but my God.
Not just the hitting, which can happen, but that the 5th inning with the fielding play.
That just gave it away.
And the connection with money. Now, look, Aaron Judge seems like a really great guy.
Right.
Handles everything well.
Mm-hmm. Class act.
I mean, he's drinking somewhere now with Maher Adams.
Mm-hmm.
They're together.
Enjoy that while you can. They after Maher Adams now.
Together, just putting him down. Like everything was going so well for us. And of course, Aaron Judge will come back. He's too great, and he had a great season. But is the money worth? I mean, part of the reason why it's just horrible for people to accept is that you're getting so much money and you drop a routine fly ball. Like, I bet you he thinks it's just, all the money in the world cannot make up for how bad I feel.
I assure you.
How bad I feel for letting down the whole city.
You are talking to a diehard Yankee fan. I assure you, Yankee fans are not thinking nearly as much about that drop ball as we're thinking about the fact that in multiple playoff series in his career, he is batting less than 150. Listen,
Okay.
At the end of the day, he's paid to hit home runs. And damn it, if you ain't gonna hit home runs, hit singles, hit doubles, get on base. What you can't do is go to bat 39 times, strike out 19 times, and that can't happen.
That brings me to, and you're a great one to answer this, maybe the best one. I think the way they do MVP voting is off because they don't include the postseason.
Okay.
To me, this is bullshit. It's bonkers. Clayton Kershaw, another one.
Right.
Like, MVP, who is actually most valuable? If you're actually putting your own money into the team and had to pick, you're going to pick the guy who also performs in the offseason. I would rather have a guy who had 35 home runs in the regular season. Yeah, it's got to be a guy who gets you there and then performs in the offseason. That to me is actually most valuable.
Let me counter that with this. I get where you're coming from. I don't blame you.
Counterpoint.
No, I don't blame you for
Stephen A., you ignorant slut.
I don't blame you for feeling that way. Here's what I would say. You have a point, but the biggest point that supports your position is the fact that you wait weeks to award the MVP in the regular season. Damn it, if you're going to award the regular season MVP, the minute the regular season is over, before the playoffs begin, give them the MVP.
Right.
All right, and then we're fine. Okay, now that was then, because we don't want the regular season to be meaningless. So you want to solidify it. You want to make sure you establish its importance.
Yes.
Do it at the end of the regular season immediately. Make sure no awards are given when the postseason is done, when the whole season starts.
I think we can agree on that compromise. I think it's a good example to America that's trying to bridge gaps right now, and I think this is going to make America great again.
I don't think it's going to happen.
MVP voting right away.
Right away.
But then
no hesitancy.
Another award for, I don't know. Well, I guess they do have that. They have the most valuable player of the, but to me, it's of the whole team. The whole team right now is sucking Freddie Freeman's dick. Right. That's who really was the most, as much as they had Ohtani.
He showed up.
Another guy who did not show up in the postseason.
Yeah, but at least he hit a home run in game one. I mean, at least he got on base and stuff like that. And he showed up at points in the postseason. He was not good for most of the World Series. But he had enough moments in the postseason where it wasn't a choke job. See, Bill, there's a difference between a choke job and you know what? You're just in a slump or whatever. Like, if you're Aaron Judge and you smacking over 50 home runs every regular season and then every postseason, all of a sudden you stink, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
That's a problem. But when you have your moments, then we can respect that. But you can tell the difference between somebody who's struggling and somebody where the bright lights are just too big for them.
I tell you, the Dodgers.
They did it, man.
Yeah, but the Ohtani signing, everybody went $700 million. That's crazy for one player, even as great as he is, and maybe he'll never even pitch again, blah, blah, blah. But I think what they had in mind, and they look like they're right, is they were like, you know what? I think Japan is the new Mexico.
How about that? And baseball it is.
It's like one thing if you have, every team has a lot of Latin players on it. So it's not like a Latin player is going to go, oh, if I go to the Blue Jays, will anybody speak Spanish? Yes, every team has but Japanese?
No.
Like once Ohtani was on that team, then Admiral Yamamoto came.
And they got somebody else coming too.
And now they got the new great arm out of Japan because it's like, where am I going to go? Well, first of all, the West Coast, it's a lot closer to home. That's a direct flight.
How about that?
Tokyo.
Weather's better.
What?
Weather is better.
Weather's better. There's more Asian people.
That's right.
And there's some people on the team I can talk to.
And the team you're going to has more money than everybody, including the Yankees at this point.
And, like, the Dodgers are the team of Japan.
Do you realize?
They got the whole country of Japan.
I sat up there and me being a Yankee fan, I'm like, do you realize this might be our last shot? We haven't won a World Series since 2009. And we are in a situation right now where we're looking at this Dodger squad because Ohtani deferred more than 90% of his salary. They have the money to go out and get Juan Soto from the Yankees if they want to. They can afford him. They can afford him. I said, what a nightmare. This can't be happening. But it is. The Dodgers, I think the Dodgers could be a dynasty. Yeah.
To me, I think that was why it was such a smart play that they had to get Ohtani because, again, it wasn't hard. They got a whole country. And it's not like there's going to be as many Latin players. Japan is going to come up with, a great player. It seems like maybe every year, every couple of years. But, they're probably going to go to Seattle, Suzuki, right?
Right.
Wasn't he Seattle?
Ichiro, yeah.
Ichiro, and I mean, the Yankees had they had a great Japanese player.
Yes, I got brain lock right now, but I know exactly who you're talking about. He pitched well for them. Matsui, he pitched well for them.
My mother used to. He
Yes.
didn't pitch.
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the pitcher that they had. I keep forgetting his name right now. I'm just trying. But Matsui was good too.
Matsui was very. But I mean, it was a brilliant play, and it was that $700 million is paying off in that pipeline that they own, and other people.
And not only they pays for himself. Doesn't cost them the money that they're making because they have Ohtani. They could care less. People got to look at this. They talk about $700 million. No, it's $700 million spread over 10 years. It's $70 million per. This dude walks to the ballpark. In a week, they're making $70 million off of this guy.
Not to defend billionaires, but like the average fan is like very angry, and I don't blame them, that a baseball game, which used to be something the common man could enjoy, is something, it's like Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah.
It's like Disneyland. These things that are just so out of reach for the working people.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, the whole election was about the Democrats lost the working people. But why do they have to charge that much? Well,
they really don't.
Players.
They really don't when you consider the television contracts that they have as well. So you got to take that into consideration. They're getting money from everywhere. They're getting money from it. There's no reason to charge them.
They're paying it out in huge numbers. It's not like the game couldn't cost way less.
Right.
I'm not saying the players, look, it's free market capitalism.
Right.
I'm all for it. But that's why kids, the hot dog costs $12.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Exactly.
It's because you're paying one guy $700 million.
And parking costs $50 and a hot dog costs $16.
telling you,
it's crazy.
But that's the provenance of where the money is going.
You love baseball?
Of course. Do I not sound like I love baseball?
Let me tell you this. I like baseball. Here's what I hate about baseball, which is why it's never been my favorite. And I've told people.
I'll tell you what I hated after that.
I gotta throw this by you. You want baseball to really improve and ingratiate itself, particularly with the younger generation on the come up who leans more towards basketball than football. They did a good job with some of the rule changes that they played because it invited more athleticism, etc. You know, pitch count, no shifting, all of this other stuff, bigger bases, stealing, all this stuff. But they need to totally get rid of the intentional walk.
They did.
No, excuse me. Oh, no. I don't mean, I'm talking about, you don't put anybody on base.
Oh, you
got to pitch to everybody.
You can't do it.
Right.
Great. Love it.
Listen,
Done.
You're grown ass man.
Where's my rubber stamp?
So
yes.
I'm a grown ass man.
Yes.
I'm pitching.
Yes.
Bill Maher's batting about 330, and he's coming up to the plate. Well, don't even bother, guys. You don't have to throw it to him. Bill, take your base. Really? You're paying.
But it'll just go back to what they used to do, which is just deliberately pitch where he can't hit it and say, well, I was trying to throw a strike.
But I'm saying something different. I'm saying you're a professional. Like, for example, you couldn't walk up to Randy Johnson. You couldn't walk up to Roger Clemens and these cats and go like this, yo, walk him. You couldn't do that. They look at you, better get out my face.
Right.
It's me against him.
Right.
And I tell you why I feel this way, and I've never changed. One of the rare occasions, you got the National League against the American League, and Barry Bonds came to Yankee Stadium. And I decide I'm going to go as a fan, and I'm going to roll up to this game. And you get stuck in traffic on the Deegan Expressway in the Bronx, cross Bronx Expressway. You pay $50 for parking. You pay your hot dogs, your popcorn, your soda, all of this other stuff. You're sitting there, and they walked them. It was driving me crazy. You wanted to see Barry Bonds hit.
Every time they
you wanted practically every time. And you just looked at it and you said, no. You got to deal with Michael Jordan. You got to deal with LeBron James. You got to deal with Kobe. You got to deal with Patrick Mahomes. You got to deal with Tom. You don't get to avoid them. You got to find a way to defend against them.
Okay, but again, I don't see how you can force people to throw a ball that they can't claim, hey, I was trying to throw a strike.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, I've got 95, 100 mile per hour fastball. It's me against you. Let's go.
Really? All you can do is shame him into it.
Yeah.
What? You can't strike out Ohtani?
That's exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
But that's not going to work. But Barry Bonds, like I always defended Barry Bonds. Like, did he take steroids? Of course. all the sluggers did in that era. I mean, it's a shame, but I also think it's a bullshit argument. I've had this argument with Bob Costas many times.
Right.
Like, everything changes in the game. You know, Babe Ruth didn't have to play against African Americans.
That's right.
And the mitts were like literally little mitts. I mean, Babe Ruth's lifetime batting average is 342. If he played today, it would be 242.
Right.
Or some 290. I don't know, but it wouldn't be 342.
Right.
He's a big fat guy.
I agree with you.
But you know, so the records don't bother me. The steroids thing doesn't bother me that much. And I remember Barry Bonds once said, "Can it be that I'm good? I'm just good." And like, with or without the steroids, he was good on a level
that's where you
few
go.
people were.
That's where you'll go. Here's where I'll go. This man was 30 and 30 before steroids. He was good for 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. He was good to bat over 300. He was en route to the Hall of Fame. Then in 1994, when you stupidly canceled the World Series, Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa returned, and they revitalized the sport. 98. I'm talking about this Roger Maris's single-season home run record. They did all of this stuff, right? And they just galvanized the American public back to the sport of baseball. And you knew they were juiced up, okay? And Barry Bonds was like, "Oh, so this how y'all doing? Oh, really? So it doesn't really matter." So, you know, you're sitting up there, because remember, in the Game of Shadows book, and the excerpts that were displayed in Sports Illustrated, they said that Barry Bonds essentially was using it because of all the attention that Mark McGwire and those guys were getting, and he already knew without it, he was better than them. So he said, "All right, this is what you do. Well, let me show you what I'm going to do when I'm on it." And that's when he smacked 73 home runs. You see what I'm saying? So he was like, "This is what I bring to the table," right? And I'm like, wait a minute. So he comes out there and he does what he does, all right? And you're saying it's because he was jealous of the attention that they were getting. And I say no. It wasn't jealousy. He was saying, "Damn it, y'all supposed to know baseball. They couldn't shine my shoes. All they could do is hit. They hit or struck out. They hit a home run or they struck out practically." He said, I was swinging on average. I was stealing bases. I was a Gold Glover. I was good for 30 home runs a year.
Seven-time MVP.
You understand? 7-time MVP. And y'all acted like y'all didn't give a shit about me. Y'all thought they were better than me. Y'all were acting like they were better than me. And he said, "I'm going to show you, if I use the same stuff they're using, this is what I can do." And sure enough, he did it. And I'm like, what's the problem? And you going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame?
Everybody who acted like the players taking steroids hurt them so much. They didn't hurt you. They hurt the guy who took the steroids. Their balls shrunk. Yeah. Their mandible got enormous. Right. Their heart probably got enlarged. It was not good for. It was not health food.
It was not.
It was a deal with the devil, and it made it entertaining. Look, I remember that '98 race so vividly. The Mark McGwire, right, and Sammy Sosa.
Oh, absolutely.
And I have a vivid memory. I don't know why.
Chasing 61.
I was in San Francisco, of course, with the girl.
Okay. Damn right.
And I just remember
it would be wise.
We were in a bar, as I always was in 1998.
Right.
And I don't know where we were, but there was the TV was on in the bar, and I remember looking at the TV and seeing what happened. I went, "Oh wow, McGwire hit 58 and 59," and I remember her going.
She didn't give a shit.
Well, of course not. It was a girl in 1998.
That's right. Well, they do say chicks love the long ball, right? That's what they say all the time. That's what they used to say.
And I remember thinking, like, you're so right. Sports is such bullshit. I know it's your living and it's my pastime, but it's like the things I could have done in my life with the time if I hadn't watched sports, which ask me who won the Super Bowl last year. I guess it was the Chiefs. Okay,
yes, it was.
I remember that one.
2-time Super Bowl champion. Absolutely.
But year before that,
Chiefs.
That's right. They're going for a 3-peat.
Back to back. Yeah, they're going for a 3-peat.
The holiday season is upon us, people. From the excessive dairy of eggnog to one too many martinis at the company holiday party, this time of year can wreak havoc on even the most flawless of complexions. I know what you're thinking, but Bill, you don't look a day over 30. Tell me about it. And while that's mainly due to the lack of kids stealing my soul and sleep, for me, It's basically because of the magic of OneSkin. There's an endless amount of trending skincare products that all promise firm skin and a youthful glow. The difference with OneSkin is that it actually works. I gave some of their flagship product, OS1 Face, to a close friend, and even he was decidedly less sad and old-looking only a few days later. OneSkin was founded by a team of 4 female PhD-level longevity scientists. That's right. All chicks dig this. After testing thousands of peptides, these gorgeously intelligent scientists, these babes of the biome, discovered something called OS1. Their flagship product, OS1 Face, is clinically proven to improve firmness, fine lines, and overall tone and appearance. Is your current skin regimen clinically proven to reverse the molecular age of your skin? I highly doubt it, which is another reason I'm a little obsessed. So give OneSkin a try and see the difference. For a limited time, our fans can get 15% off OneSkin with our code RANDOM at oneskin.co. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. OneSkin addresses skin health at the molecular level, targeting the root causes of aging so skin behaves, feels, and appears younger. It's time to get started with your new face, eye, and body routine at a discounted rate today. Get 15% off with the code RANDOM at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code RANDOM. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. We only have one body, one skin, and only you can choose to make it healthy and better. Age healthy with OneSkin. Club Random is brought to you by the audio marketing gurus at Radioactive Media. Business owners and CMOs, how do you plan on growing your business in 2025? With the election night behind us, why not utilize something reliable and stable for your marketing efforts and tap into the power of podcast? Hello, I think podcast was credited with just winning the election. Podcast, they said it was the podcast election, and radio. In the U.S., audio reaches more than 271 million people weekly. That's more than social media and digital combined. For advertisers who want to reach the right audience with the right hosts and programs, you need to speak with Radioactive Media. Text RANDOM to 511-511. Hell, you can even buy spots on my show. If you're a mid-sized company or a well-funded startup with a monthly budget as low as 5 figures, they can help. They believe in the power of audio so much they even use it themselves right here, right now. Learn how you can experience the power of audio marketing by also utilizing the strength of text messaging. Start planning for 2025 now. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text the word RANDOM to 511-511. Discover how audio marketing can surpass your current strategies with new and innovative ways that sound better. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text RANDOM to 511-511. Text RANDOM to 511-511 today. Message and data rates may apply. All right, but now, before I forget, I want to tell you what I don't like about baseball. And it's something you can change. But here's what makes baseball, to me, so frustrating and so different than every other sport.
Okay.
The element of luck is enormous compared to any other sport. In basketball, there is the occasional shot that's a shitty shot but still goes in. I'm sure Don Nelson's one that broke Jerry West's heart and turned him into a caricature on that HBO show. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Jerry West went to his grave to say, I get that shitty shot that went back. But that mostly isn't what happened. You either make the shot or you don't. And if you make
Patrick Ewing, Finger Roll, Indiana, missed it. But
mostly, if you hit it right, baseball, it's like 50-50 whether you will be rewarded or punished for doing the right thing. Right. You sting the ball. It's a line drive, but it's right into the right fielder's.
Right.
And then you hit a shitty blooper.
Right. And it could go on.
So like if there was a way to reward, like, oh, wow, he got that pitch. Mm-hmm. That guy tried to throw 100-mile-an-hour slider past him, and he got it. And he got it right on the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong
Well,
play.
I will say
That's
this.
what fucks up baseball for me. I'm not getting rid of baseball for it, and you
Right.
can't get rid of that.
I
But
don't mind the luck
it is a
element.
lucky
I
sport.
don't mind the luck element with sports. I mean, it comes with it. It does. And I love
Not
baseball.
like baseball.
And I love baseball. You're right, but I love baseball in person. Don't like it as much watching it
Me
on
too.
television. I love basketball either live or on television. I love football on television. Hate it live.
There's nothing like a court seat at a basketball game.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
I mean, look, I've never been to a boxing match like close up.
Oh my goodness, I have.
Maybe that's better.
Yes, I mean,
I bet you it is. They're
listen,
punching each other.
Listen, I went to I had to cover the Mike Tyson Andrew Galata fight years ago when he got out of jail, and then, you know, he was fighting in Detroit, Michigan. I was there for that fight. I was there for the Oscar De La Hoya versus Fernando Vargas fight. I'm talking about in terms of ringside seats. Last July, not this past July, but July before that, Terrence Crawford going up against Errol Spence. That was the biggest fight, one of the biggest fights that I was there for
I
that.
don't even know these people.
I mean, they're like, because the promoters have messed up the sport. That's why you don't know enough about him, because Terrence Crawford's great. When we talk about a guy like Terrence Crawford, I need you to think about a Floyd Money Mayweather, a Sugar Ray Leonard, a Marvin Hagler, people like that.
Right.
That's how great Terrence Crawford is, okay?
Oh.
And this was supposed to be a big fight because Errol Spence was a undefeated welterweight champion, and Terrence Crawford slaughtered him. I mean, just took him to school and beat him like he stole something. And you know, and I don't say, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I love Errol Spence, but that was an ass kicking. It really, really was. And when you see stuff like that, you know, Canelo Alvarez, Triple G.
Sounds like what happened to the Democrat.
How about that? You know what? And that was an ass kicking. That was, if we're being honest about it, it was a thorough ass kicking. Ain't no way around it, Bill.
Oh,
I mean, you know more politics than me, but damn it, yeah, a blind man could see the Democrats got their ass kicked. Yeah, it was like, you know what? I like that analogy. Democrats similar to Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. Yep, that works.
I mean,
it was that kind of ass kick.
It won't work on a lot of people like me who don't know who these people are.
Right.
Why do you think it is that boxing became a sport that I was always interested in when it was Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, and even up to you know, who got his ear bit off?
Mike Tyson and Holyfield.
Tyson, Holyfield.
Right.
And it's been years now. Is that because UFC?
Combination of two. Number one, you can, and I love the fact that you made that analogy, because the kind of ass kicking that the Democrats just received is similar to a lot of that stuff.
What do you think they should do about it?
The Democrats?
Yeah.
How about listen, I like Westmore, governor of Maryland, but you know, you have, to use your baseball analogy, you have no bullpen. Who is it? Trump's been the Republican nominee since 2016.
Yeah.
Okay? It is clear that that's who conservatives want in the White House, okay? That's who they supported. They didn't give a damn about the 34 indictments. They didn't give a damn about 2 impeachments. They didn't give a damn about all the legal issues and the lawfare that the Democrats engaged in. They said, Joe, that's who we want. This is the difference, and I said this to a lot of people, Bill. The conservatives said, we want that guy. That's who we want. And the voters decided who the Republican nominee is going to be. When you look at the Democrats, they didn't do it with Obama, that's true. Okay?
Didn't do what?
They greased the skids. This is the person we want. It's her turn. It was Hillary's turn in 2016. All right, Biden.
Well, that's not Obama. Obama earned it.
No, that's why I said he earned it. But in 2016, and I'm not even trying to imply.
They voted. Hillary ran in the primaries.
I'm not even trying to imply that she. But remember, they were complaining that Bernie Sanders had some momentum and was compromised by the Democratic Party because they were saying it was Hillary's turn. Remember that?
Bernie Sanders, I love him, but he's too far left, and he would have been a bigger disaster than Kamala was.
That's fine. But what I'm saying to you is, still in all, Bill, what I would, shoot, it's rare that I disagree with you. What I'm saying is, the only thing I will push back on is, that's fine, but that's for the voter to decide.
Right.
And a lot of times, the Democratic Party seems as if they've got their claws in the mix. Take Biden, for example. Okay, so, you know, Clyburn helps him get through South Carolina. He ultimately goes to the Democratic nomination. He's the Democratic nominee for the president. He ultimately wins the election. There was supposed to be a red wave in 2022 in the midterms. The Republicans didn't pull that off. And Biden is feeling himself and saying, I ain't going anywhere. I'm not going to. I told y'all I was going to be a transitional president. I told y'all I was going to be a one-term dude. I'm just here as a stopgap to pave the way for the future of the Democratic Party. And then all of a sudden, he in office taking that power.
He was a veritable John the Baptist. Just the guy who goes before.
Come on, bro.
Absolutely.
Bill, the point is that your ass was going to be 82 years old in the White House. Come on now. And then I'll never forget this. Bill, I swear to you, I love your show Real Time. I'm a huge fan. I watch it every chance I get. I have never.
No, real fans watch it every week. You watch it every chance you get. I'm just fucking with you.
Because I got multiple jobs. But here's the deal, Bill. But I TiVo it. I tell you that much. The DVR it, rather. That TiVo, DVR.
I'm going to send you a telegram about that.
You told him myself. Here's the deal, man. I have never wanted to be on your show more than I wanted to be on your show when Biden announced that he was going to run for reelection. Because I'm like this, what y'all going to say now? This is some straight bullshit. You got a situation where you won the midterm. You denied, you halted, you warded off the red wave. And you, knowing you're going to be 81 in election time, knowing you're going to be 82 in office, right? It wasn't the midterm. It was when the State of the Union address took place. And I saw these people. Remember, the liberals, so when you call yourself progressives.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're looking forward with a dude that's going to be 82 and would leave office when he's 86. Really, y'all? I'm sitting there like, you got to be shitting me. This is what you're talking about? And I'm like, I knew I wasn't voting for Trump. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I was saying to myself, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And then I looked at their bullpen, and they had no one. They had no one. They had no one that could compete with Donald Trump.
Well, not on a charisma level.
Fair. Okay,
Because,
fair enough.
no,
But charisma is what gets you votes, bro.
Absolutely. And I've said it a million times, insanity photographs.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I mean, it's charismatic. But I have so many things that I must contend here with.
Sure.
One, you're an ageist. There are people who are completely crackling right at 82. So it's always a case. It's always a case-by-case basis.
Right? Yeah. Nancy Pelosi don't have the problems that Biden have. I'm very supportive of in terms of Nancy Pelosi, in terms of how sharp she is. I'm not. I don't believe I'm an ageist.
Nancy Pelosi has lost a step in public, also, to be perfectly honest. But the job is never what you do in public. The job is done in the Oval Office.
Okay.
All you have to do is be. I never thought Biden couldn't do the job. The job is actually sitting in the Oval Office making decisions. He's not crazy. He hasn't lost his mind. He's not senile. He just can't do the public part. He never could do it well. And add the age thing, and you're going to get things like, I killed Medicare, or whatever the fuck he said. By the way, Trump, no one has been harder on Trump or more against Trump, blah, blah, blah. I don't have to establish my credentials. But he does do things once in a while that either make me genuinely laugh or make me genuinely go, oh, that's good. Yes. Like when he said in that debate, he had a moment where he went, I don't know what he said.
Exactly.
And I don't think
there.
And I don't think he knows what he said.
What he said. I mean, we crack it up.
That's what people love about him.
Yes.
It's like he's crazy, but crazy people don't have the time to pretend about shit. That's why he can say shithole countries.
You say the time.
As if nobody else ever said shithole.
Bill,
or thought that there were shithole countries.
But Bill, you say the time. I say the interest. Like, for example, so you walk into Club Random, okay? Let the audience know what Club Random is.
Well, there's no audience.
It's a conversation.
That's what makes it so great.
That's watching out there. Yeah, they're watching.
Oh, that's watching, yes.
It's watching, right? But it's no bullshit. You're going to have a real conversation. So
real.
You're going to have a real conversation. That's why I'm here. I'm not wasting my time talking to somebody that's going to be a phony ass. I got better things to do with my time.
You're exactly the kind of guest I like.
You understand?
Because you don't ever pretend.
No, I ain't got time for that.
So let me ask you this.
Sure.
I read your bio.
Okay.
You're black.
Yep. Yes, I am, Bill.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I am a black man, Bill.
Trusting the research of my assistants. If I'm wrong about this, that is on them.
Right,
And someone's going to lose their job. But that's what I read in the research.
Right.
You're a black male.
Right.
Do you want to know what the true scourge of the technological revolution is? It's not machines becoming self-aware and declaring war on the human race. No, my friends, it's the fact that you have to sign up and subscribe to every little thing online in order to simply live your life. It's insane. You even name every single subscription you have? I know I can't, and I'm not alone. I just learned that over 74% of people have subscriptions they've completely forgotten about. Okay, good. With Rocket Money, I don't have to remember every subscription or worry about forgetting any, because I can see them all laid out right in front of me. Most Americans think they spend about $62 per month on subscriptions, but the real number is closer to $300. Hello? Thanks to Rocket Money, I'm no longer losing money because of subscriptions I forgot about. So long, Gardening for Stoners magazine. Oh, shit. I didn't want to get rid of that one. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/random. That's rocketmoney.com/random. rocketmoney.com/random. Hey, if you've ever visited family during the holidays, you know that the thermostat is kind of like the Mona Lisa in a museum. You can look, but don't touch. So when Grandma is having a hot flash and the thermostat set at 52, we all need a way to keep our feet warm. That's where Heat Holders, the warmest thermal socks on the market, arrives to save the holidays. I personally love these socks. They're my go-to in the winter. My feet can't get enough of them. They also make perfect gifts, but did you know that Heat Holders make so much more than just socks? They've got the warmest hats, gloves, and more. I absolutely love their blankets. They're perfect for chilly nights, plus they make jackets and fleece vests, and like their socks, they come in 3 levels of warmth, just like a thermostat. Choose what you need for whatever cold you're facing. Receive an amazing 25% off your heatholders.com order this week only through Cyber Monday by entering the code RANDOM25. Plus, receive free shipping with any purchase of $25 or more. Don't freeze your ass off this winter. Instead, stay warm with Heat Holders. Remember to go to heatholders.com and use code RANDOM and the number 25 to save 25% off your order through Cyber Monday. One last time, go to heatholders.com and use the code RANDOM25 to save 25% off through Cyber Monday today. You know, after the election, everybody's all talking. It's all they can talk about at dinner, at parties, even the Hollywood parties.
By the way, I'm lucid, I'm clear and all that stuff, but I got a contact high and I'm a little tipsy.
No,
but I'm all right, but I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great.
You're Lucifer. I'm lucid.
Okay.
Okay. And by the way, are you sure you don't want pot? Because I tell you, to me, your profile screams, I would love this drug. I'm not saying...
I will say this to you, Bill. I will tell you this. The day I smoke some pot, if I ever did it on camera, it would go viral. It would get about 1 billion views, because as much as I've talked about staying off the weed, even though I've only geared that towards professional athletes compromising their money, the bottom line is I've said it so much over the years, it would go viral. But anyway, go ahead into your point.
All right, I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Because, so I'm at this party, and there's like a lot of, I'm not going to say the name, but what they would call bold-faced names.
Right.
And of course, it's after the election, but this is Hollywood. And, you know, I love Hollywood. I really do. I love living here, and I love show business. And
I don't like the taxes.
Don't take it the wrong way, but the people here, they're loaded with talent. They're not loaded with smartest person in the room.
Right.
You know,
okay.
I'm not saying they're complete idiots. Some. And there's some very smart people in the business, some brilliant people.
Yeah.
But mostly they're what they got was talent. Okay. So they're talking about the election. Of course, they all want to talk to me because they're like, oh, that kid actually knows shit.
Yes, you do. You do. You do, Bill.
You know, okay.
You do.
So they're like, you know, of course, they're all upset about Trump as if their life is going to change.
Come on now.
Like, you know, let me tell you, for the last year, people have been coming up to me at the nicest restaurants in Hollywood, because that's the only place I go because I'm a baller. You know this, Stephen A. Okay. So it's like, oh, Bill, what are we going to do if Trump wins? I'm like, you know what you're going to do? Go back and finish your $900 dinner for 4 people.
Right.
That's what you're going to do.
Yes.
And your taxes are probably going to go down like they did the first time. And everything else you could give a shit about.
They don't realize they make it hard on people like yourself and me who will vote liberal. But we're sensible. We're not extreme. We're not extreme.
That's why the election was lost.
You woke. Now don't get me wrong, inflation, immigration, of course. But that woke culture, they took the shit too far.
You gotta watch my show. I know you don't get a chance to see it always. You have to see it Friday. Because
past Friday?
No, this current
this coming Friday. Okay.
Because my end piece is why I'm mad at the Democrats for just what you're talking about.
I should stay for the damn show rather than flying out. I should stay. I was planning on leaving Friday.
Watch it in person.
I should come to the damn show
we would love that.
Just to
That'd
watch
be
it.
Awesome.
Just to watch it.
You can heckle it.
Absolutely.
You can yell at the screen.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Now Trump's in president. Now Trump's president. I can make that joke.
Very rude, very nasty question. You didn't even say hello.
I couldn't make that joke under Biden. Now I can make that joke.
Damn right.
All right, so here's the thing.
Right.
So there are all these, white boys are talking to me about Trump, and he's a terrible racist. And it's like, well, how could the black people vote for him more than each time? And they didn't vote for him a lot more, but men did.
Right, men did.
Okay, and I said, you know what? I don't want to speak for all black people, and this is where I need to tell you.
Sure.
You tell me if I was wrong or right.
Okay.
I said, you know what I think black people think about Trump? Like, is he a racist? Yeah, but they think every white person is kind of a racist. And do they think that white people behind closed doors talk like Trump? Yeah, he's just a crazy person.
That last part right there. It's not that. It's not.
He just says it out loud
as black people. I don't want to speak for all black people, whatever.
No,
obviously
because they're not all alike.
That's right, exactly. But I will say this to you, as being a black man, you don't look at white people and automatically think they're racist. You automatically know they're different than you, that they think different than you, that they come from a different cultural background and experience things differently than they do.
Right.
So that second part is very, very important, because when you talk about how Trump talks, we're going like this. So that's the first time he talked like that, when he became president. Who the fuck you think you playing with? We know better than that. We know better than that. We know that ain't the first time, and we know that the people that he was friends with all of these years, he talked just like that around y'all, and y'all didn't have no problem with it. Don't act like you have a problem
and
now.
Also had some genuine black friends and black folks who like him.
Well, let me tell you this. I don't know if I told you this.
Because it's complicated.
I don't know if I told you
this. Life is complicated.
I wouldn't call myself his friend by any stretch of the imagination back in the day.
Right.
But I've told this on many occasions. I said this in my recent appearance on The View and stuff like that. Trump and I were friendly.
Right.
Before he ran for president. He used to have these boxing matches, particularly during the Tyson fights at the Trump casinos. He would be at the Knicks games and stuff like that. And if we're being totally honest, all the brothers found him to be cool.
Right.
They found him to be very cool. So let's be clear, because he knew his sports, all right? He would say what he feel.
Right.
He bucked the establishment, which we loved. And we gravitated to that, and obviously he was a billionaire.
Also, he was a certain age,
and it was cool.
Get a certain understanding that white men of that age, they're going to be a little grandpa. We don't say that anymore.
No,
but
like, him.
Is he really in his heart hateful? No, I think
I've never.
I don't think his motivation is I don't like black people. I think his motivation is everybody must love me.
Thank you. And that's why, that's right there, what you just said, everybody must love me.
It's his narcissism. It's not his racism.
I have never called him a racist. I have never spoken about him that way, ever. Not one time, because I knew him beforehand. And he called me in 2014. This is a true story. He says, Stephen A. had a secretary, Mr. Trump is on the line, etc. Gets on the line, he says, Stephen A., I'm trying to buy the Buffalo Bills. The price tag was $1.4 billion.
What year?
2014,
Okay.
right? 2013, 2014. The price tag was 1.4 billion. He had by 1.1 billion. I was being told he wasn't gonna get the team. He said, quote, Stephen A., if these motherfuckers get in my way, talking about the NFL owners, if these motherfuckers get in my way, I'm gonna get them all back. I'm gonna run for president. That's what he said. And some NFL official said, so it's our fault. Years later, they said, so it's our fault. And I went like this, yeah, because had he gotten owner of the Buffalo Bills, he would have been an NFL owner. Right. But I bring that up. Let me tell you the story. I bring that up because what I've tried to tell everybody, the Colin Kaepernick situation comes into play. If you remember, sports gaming hadn't yet been ruled on by the Supreme Court. That wasn't until around 2018.
Interesting.
If you get a half a point, a half a percentage point, that translates into billions for owners.
Right.
And Trump was making the case and hijacked the whole Colin Kaepernick fiasco just to get the owners back. I'm telling you what I know.
I can
just to get them back, to get in the way of them getting a hold of their money because they got in the way of him owning the Buffalo Bills.
Right. That's...
And I said, yo, y'all, I'm telling you what I know. I said this on my show, First Take on ESPN. I said it on the airwaves all over the place. Every interview. I said, yo, y'all, he called me. I'm telling you what I know. He's going to get him back. And that's what it was about.
It's fascinating. It's newsworthy. And it's completely consistent with what we know about how he conducts foreign affairs.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a call, supposedly, Putin denies it, but I don't know what that's all about. With
like they're going to admit some stuff that we know better.
Yeah, and Zelensky, and like he's probably not. He says he's going to get a great deal out of Putin. I don't know how he's going to get a great deal because Putin already knows that Trump has like a hard-on for Ukraine, all because of the same kind of petty grievances in the past.
Yeah.
So that's, again, that is always the motivating thing, this sort of narcissism. I've said it a million times. People talk about narcissism like it's some sort of quirk. It's not a quirk. It's like...
It's serious when it comes to him. I keep trying to tell
people. If it was bipolar, people would be alarmed because that word, oh my God, it's similar.
Let me make a little news here. Black people, minorities in this country that called him a racist, did him a favor when they did that.
Interesting.
They did him a favor because it galvanized his base. To say, we don't want to hear that. Look at the economy. Look at the borders. Look at crimes in the streets of America. We don't want to hear that. And he's able to easily dismiss that because on too many occasions you saw him on camera very comfortable with minorities. So because of that, the visual that you talk about, it played a role because he knew he had a portfolio of appearances with black folks throughout decades where you had no problem with him then. How all of a sudden you gonna bring up rent control issues in 1973? That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. If you're gonna bring up him in the 1970s when his daddy owned apartment complexes and minorities was in those complexes, then don't you have to bring up Biden and his relationship with Senator Byrd?
Yeah.
You understand? Who was from West Virginia, who died at the age of 97, that was in office until he was about 97, who, by the way, was a former member of the Ku Klux Klan.
Was a Klan?
You have to bring that up. Don't you have to bring up the 90s when you had the Congressional Black Caucus and you talking about the crime bill that Clinton pushed through that Biden was so vociferous about? You have to bring this stuff up if you're going to bring up Trump in the 70s. So I'm listening to people and I'm like, are you trying to win or are you just trying to make noise? Because he's going to get past this. That strategy is not going to work.
But that is one of the big things Democrats should be looking in the mirror, as I keep saying, about, is that they don't call out their own. And by the way, I've lost a lot of fans. I've gained a lot too. And I lost a lot who just don't want to abide somebody who is making any sort of critique of the left. Let's face it, most guys suck at giving gifts. Not after I tell you about the best pots and pans on the planet Earth. That's right, you'd have to go to Mars to do better. Hexclad. With Hexclad's non-stick and stainless steel hybrid technology, not only will your meals likely taste better, cleanup will be so much easier. I made the perfect omelet last weekend for my dogs, and the thing literally slid off the pan to the plate with barely a shake of my wrist. If they weren't dogs, they would have been impressed. It's like non-stick magic. It made cooking easy, and cleanup was almost unnecessary, especially since they licked it clean. Oh, the dogs again. Fellas, don't ruin the holidays again this year with an ugly sweater or a soulless gift card. Instead, say, I love you with the gift of Hexclad. Plus, Hexclad has a lifetime warranty. This is literally the last set of pots and pans you will ever have to buy. Whether you're treating yourself or looking for that perfect gift, now's the time to snag the cookware that everyone's talking about. For a very limited time only, our listeners can shop Hexclad's biggest sale of the year for up to 42% off with our exclusive link. Just head to hexclad.com/random to unlock their best deals of the year. Support your show and check them out at hexclad.com/random. Bon appetit, folks. Let's eat with Hexclad's revolutionary cookware. This would be good for me. I cook. I'm a bachelor. Happy cooking and happy holidays.
Man, I got to tell you, man. This is as an aside. This is very comfortable. I love doing this. Man.
I love doing it with you.
I love doing this, man. I mean, this is the only time I drink on camera, man.
Me too.
This is the only time I drink on camera.
We're birds of a feather. But okay. But like, take for this, for example.
Okay.
Doug Emhoff.
Yep.
Kamala's husband.
Supposedly, you were on the verge of being the first man. Yes, that guy.
Not the first man was Adam.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying.
He would be the first gentleman.
You know what I'm saying. The first gentleman.
They have a title
my
for
bad.
it.
My bad.
First gentleman.
Yeah, first gentleman.
Okay. And you know, someday there will be one, and there could have been one by now, but the Electoral College stopped Hillary. I mean, she got more votes than him, so you can't say,
stop Kamala.
Americans wouldn't vote for a woman. They did.
They did. The popular vote.
Gave her the majority.
2.6.
She's not president because people hate women in this country. She's not president because of the Electoral College.
Which, by the way, diluted Obama's argument talking to black men about Kamala Harris. Hillary Clinton got 2.686 million more popular votes than Trump. She lost the Electoral College vote, but she won the popular vote. In the case of Kamala Harris, it's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Misogyny, chauvinism. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I love Obama. Love him. Voted for him twice. Don't want to hear that.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Because he's a practical centrist.
Yes, and a good man.
And also, like, did the most difficult thing, getting elected the first black president, and then, like, giving them nothing to, like, get him on.
Zero.
Like,
for 8 years.
When you know that they were looking so hard, and he had to be, talk about, like, Caesar's wife.
Hold on. I don't want to objectify anybody. That's easy to do when you got a first lady that look like that.
Oh, stop it.
I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying. I mean, we clever, right? We being real, right?
Yeah,
I'm just saying. You know, Michelle Obama is a beautiful woman.
Yeah, she is.
It's real easy to avoid giving folks ammunition when you're coming home to that lady.
I feel like you're really overemphasizing that point. I mean, she's an attractive woman.
Well, let me say this.
And I don't think that made any difference in anything. Well, because I think there was some percentage of people who just did not like the idea of a black family eating off the good china.
I'm not going to objectify the former First Lady of the United States. What I will say to you is this, though. The backdrop of that, respectfully, the Gary Harts of the world, the John Edwards of the world, former presidential candidates on the Democratic side, whose dalliances, whose behavior.
Boehner.
I'm just saying, Boehner's
Clinton.
I'm just saying, Clinton, of course. But I'm just talking about at that time, before Trump, that derailed you from the White House.
Right.
See, Obama preceded Trump. That's the only reason I bring up Michelle Obama. Because the thing that could bring you down, that could get you in the throes of controversy, was your behavior. And obviously those individuals got themselves in trouble, and Obama didn't.
John Edwards was fucking his filmographer.
How about that?
And there's a tape of him going down on her when she was pregnant.
I didn't know that.
Because everyone loves to see a politician kiss a baby.
That's a little bit, oh my. I got it. I'm not going there.
One of my favorite
I'm
jokes.
not going there, okay?
So, okay, but Doug Emhoff, this to my point about the Democrats, they just countenance no self-reflection or no critique of their own. And that's why a lot of them hate me. And they go fuck themselves.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, because first of all, I was right. I warned them about Trump, first off, more than anybody especially
you
for...
were the first to warn this country about that he wasn't going to leave office.
And I was right and warned them about what was going to get him reelected. Your stupid, over-the-top wokeness.
Right.
They hate that. So, and they just will not countenance any sort of self-reflection. Doug Emhoff, okay, was credibly accused. I'm not saying it's true. We never know in these cases.
Right.
But was credibly accused during the campaign by a woman of being rough with her.
Yes.
If
it was Trump, they would have been all over it.
I mean, if it was any Republican.
If it was any Republican, they would have been all over it.
It's not that different than what Brett Kavanaugh or these... And it's like, it just didn't... And on Saturday Night Live, a guy plays Doug Emhoff, but he's just funny, kind of weird, nerdy Doug.
You don't bring up any of that.
You just don't... It's like nothing to see here because you shut-ins who only watch MSNBC will never hear about it anyway. So we just don't... And it's like, look what it got you.
The only defense I have against that is that he wasn't running for office. She was. So in that regard, fine. Trump is running for office. He's not.
Oh, they
it's
would.
his wife. But having said that, the bottom line, had that been a Republican, you would have pounced. See, when
everybody would have pounced. It would have been.
Listen, I know the guys. I've known Sean Hannity for 20 years. Megyn Kelly, I'm a fan of, and by the way, I love y'all conversation, y'all back and forth. I have a lot of respect for Megyn Kelly. I think that
she's smart.
She's on it. She's smart.
She's wrong about Trump, but
she could be wrong.
But at least
she has her facts.
At least she owned it. When I said to her, we'll see if you guys theory that he just says shit. Right. We'll see if that doctrine comes true. And she didn't go, fuck you. She went, yeah, it's possible.
Right.
And I appreciate that. Now, what I say to those kind of people now is, if it does turn out that he just says shit doctrine is more than just talk, will you admit it?
Did you see what she said about you?
Will you admit it?
Did you see what she said about you, Megyn Kelly? Because let me tell you what she said about you. She said basically the same thing you said about her.
Very attractive.
She respected where you came from. She respected your position. She didn't think that you were right, but it was a healthy debate, etc. Because to be honest with you, the kind of conversation you two had, see, I don't consider myself on that level because I'm not as knowledgeable about politics as either one of you, but I look at her and the conversation that she had with you, and I'm like this, that's what the hell I want a damn presidential debate to be.
First of all, I think you know what time it is.
I do.
Time to go. No.
Right.
But she's not really my type, but she's pretty hot.
She's not your type, whatever. I like thick women.
Of your Michelle Obama theory, it's like you
that's a different level.
You can imagine that political passion if just somehow turned.
Right. How about that?
And
use your imagination.
I'm telling you,
I understand.
I think every man, no, maybe not every man.
Not every man, but most. But most.
Knows that,
most heterosexuals.
You can get a woman in a good mood with sex. Let's just put it that way. They're in a bad mood.
Or you could get them in a very bad mood if you don't handle your business. You got to get the job done. Let's just call it what it is. You got to get the job done.
Absolutely. If you pass out some weak shit, that's going to
That's a wrap. That's a wrap. You got to handle your business. I'm fully aware of this. I'm fully aware.
No, that's something I learned in my 20s.
Yeah.
In 20s, it's hard to stop a hard-on from happening. But, a couple of times you're like, I was nervous or something, and I just did not perform well. And
let's call it, can we be honest?
And that was
can we be honest,
that
man?
was a wrap.
Can we be honest as man?
Like there's no second.
When you don't handle your business, right?
No.
There's one or two things that happen. You're either not equipped enough to handle your business, or you're a bit fast. You're a bit fast. You're in and you're out. You understand what I'm saying? You don't handle your business. And either way does not work.
But the woman.
But if you handle your business,
Yes.
it's amazing the profound impact that you can have.
If you don't
That is true.
If you don't handle your business, trust me, in the future you will be handling your business.
How about that?
You will be doing it. Because
I understand.
Because
I understand.
I'm saying the woman in this equation.
Right.
I would not make generalizations about all women,
Never.
except for this one. If you don't do it right the first time, there is no second time. This happened twice to me.
Right.
I don't need it to happen more.
I'm not.
Bill,
Bill,
you do not, and I don't blame them.
Bill,
they're like, why would it be better the second
we
time?
On Club
And maybe it would.
We on Club Random.
Actually, it would be better because I wouldn't be maybe so nervous. Or maybe I'd be like Aaron Judge. I'd be like, oh my gosh, if I blow the World Series again, it's going to be even worse.
We are on Club Random.
Because that is true with athletes. Like the more the pressure, the more you suck, the more the pressure builds.
I must confess.
Right?
I must confess, Bill. It's only happened on a couple of occasions. But there were
You're back to that. You're obsessed.
There were a couple of occasions, Bill, where, dare I say, I didn't handle my business.
Everybody fails.
I mean, it was like, and the commercial came on and it was over, and the commercial was over and I was done. I mean, it was quick. I mean, Bill, it has happened, okay? But they were kind enough to give me a second chance.
Oh, really?
And
wow,
I made it happen. That is true. I mean, I can't deny that. I can't deny that.
You know, you will get a second. Like I'm talking about not really being able to perform because whatever your nervousness or whatever, just bug got in your dick. But like, there's a difference between that and like coming too soon. When I was young, I remember that happening. That can be almost a compliment.
Right.
I remember once, like having sex with a girl, and then we watched our favorite show, 59 Minutes. It's some
59
other
minutes. You've done in 60 seconds.
Some other comic.
I've never been that bad.
That's some other
I've never been that bad.
That's some other comic's joke. I can't remember who from back in my early days in stand-up, but it was a funny joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, that can be forgiven because it's almost complimentary that you cut you.
But you got to remember, Bill, as a man, you don't know if that woman is going to find that forgiving until she does.
No, you don't know.
So as a result, you like praying. Like, oh God, I hope she give me a second chance because she's just gonna go out and talk about, oh, he wasn't shit.
You don't know.
He was terrible. You don't want that reputation.
You don't know anything that they're thinking when you're young. Like now, if I talk to a girl in her 20s, I know exactly what she's thinking. Well, she doesn't know what but when I was that age,
with the advent, that's right, and our time. But with the advent of social media, you damn right, you know what they thinking now. Hell yes, in your 20s. Hell, you know what they thinking in their teenage years. It's bad out there,
What you're saying because they put it all on social media?
Because they put everything on social media.
Yeah, but are they being honest on social media?
Okay, that's fine. But a lot of people believe they're being honest. So when they talk shit about you, what is it to believe? You stuck with the reputation.
I think what they're putting out on social media is just this sort of fog screen of the life they want you to think they're living, or who.
That's fair.
It's just. I mean, that's one reason why that generation is so fucked
and it's also convoluted because there are those of us who have social media accounts, who have YouTube channels, who have podcasts, etc. We've done it. We've been in the business. We've accomplished what we've accomplished. But it's convoluted by an abundance of people who haven't accomplished shit and are using social media to come across as if they have accomplished something. And it's hard for the audience at times to dissect who's who unless they really, really know you. They know Bill Maher. They know Stephen A. They don't know a lot of people.
But that generation, there's so many ways to be like rich and either sort of famous or famous for a minute by doing nothing. Crypto.
Yeah.
Influencer.
Yeah.
It's no wonder that none of these kids like really, I guess this is, because I live in LA and I see this sort of world of Nepo babies and trust fund kids when you're out.
Right.
That like, they work.
I loved your new rules on Nepo babies, by the way. That was fantastic.
That's because that was about
sports. Pound on that one. That was special. That was nice.
Thank you.
You did a great job on that.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That started here in a conversation with Bob Costas. And Bronny James is the one who fucked it up.
Yeah.
Because the point of it for people who didn't see it is that sports, the last place where you can have trust that it's not Nepo babies, like everything else, even modeling now, Nepo babies. But certainly politics always was, show business is rife with them. Everything is Nepo babies except sports. You could always count on the fact that the best, the 600 players in the NBA were the best in the world, not just in America. And Bronny James is not one of the 600 best players.
Let me, first of all, I agree with you. Let me tell you what the real problem was with the whole Bronny James things. And I love this kid, and I love his
not against him.
It's not against him. His mama, listen, LeBron James is one of the top 2 players in the history of basketball. He's on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. He's absolutely amazing, okay? And a good dude as well.
Yeah.
Let me explain where they messed up about Bronny. LeBron James has done so much for this league. Him wanting the moment of being in an NBA game with his son is not the crime. Here's what the crime was, Bill. You have that moment on opening night. At that moment, Bronny James, you know you belong in the G League. Go to the G League.
Right.
You know why you're here. Listen, this was important to my dad. My dad is phenomenal. He's done so much to the game.
Right.
And the one thing that he dreamed of having was me on a basketball court for an NBA game with him. Ladies and gentlemen, now that I got this moment, it's time for me to go and earn my stripes. I didn't earn it at USC because I wasn't there long enough, right? I'm a high school All-American averaging 14 points a game, all right, which is better than most of us, by the way, but still, high school All-Americans usually are doing more than that. All Bronny James had to do, and I understand that that's a lot to put on a kid that's 19 years old or so, but all Bronny James had to do was say, now it's time for me to go to the G League, y'all.
Yeah.
I got to earn my stripes. Then a Bill Maher and others can't come out and say what they said. But because he was soaking it all in, right? And one game after another, you're traveling with the team, you're in uniform, and you're taking up one of those roster spots. Now it brings into question the meritocracy and what was religiously associated with the NBA, which is why your point was not only on point because factually you were correct, but your timing was impeccable.
Nice.
See, you didn't wait. You know, it wasn't like 6 months late or anything. No, you were right there, week 1. Like, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute now. Let's stop acting like,
I did
and you
that
were right.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, before that, I even said in the piece, it's funny, I even said in the piece, everybody wants to see Bronny James in the league with his father.
So you spoke about Bronny James 2 years ago.
2 years
I didn't know that, Bill. I didn't know that.
That's when I did that piece. And I said, everyone wants to see it, but he won't make it unless he's good enough. And then they fuck that up. And I even mentioned Doc Rivers' kid plays, but not because he's Doc Rivers' kid.
But Austin Rivers,
because he's good enough to
he's
play
good enough
in
to
the
be on an NBA.
league.
Austin Rivers was good enough to be on an NBA roster, especially defensively.
Yes.
And coming out of Duke, playing at Duke, and being drafted, he earned no stripes.
No, he was an NBA player.
He
not
was
a
an NBA
superstar,
player.
but an NBA player.
Yes, he was. Absolutely true.
You know, so look, the 12th guy on the team, does he play anyway? No. But he just, it adulterated something that was pure. And then it was the last thing that was pure. And by the way, I got to say the Lakers, it made me just think, the Lakers, first they take a season where they just give it up to a farewell to Kobe.
Kobe. Who earned it?
Come on.
Right.
Really? You earn the team giving you a season of...
Because you had nothing else. It's not. They didn't.
Shouldn't you start trying to rebuild something else?
What I'm saying, they were cap strapped. They had a lot of errors that they had made with the Jim Buss era because he was busy at Hooters instead of running the fucking team. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is that it looked bad. That was true. But in the same breath, every team, once they win a number of championships, ultimately decline. Because once that wears off, you don't get good draft picks. You're not in good draft positions. You're not necessarily getting those free agents. So that was totally different. That was totally different.
But you know what phrase I've heard enough of for a lifetime is, I gave to the game. You know what? You gave to you. No one's putting a gun to your head and making
And
you
you didn't play for free.
You
And you damn
hardly
sure didn't play
played
for
for free.
You damn sure didn't
Yes,
play.
you sacrificed your body. That was your choice.
By the way, as an aside, before I forget, you know who watches this podcast? Commissioner Adam Silver. When I was here last
he's
time,
been a long
when
time.
I was here last time, he was the first call I received.
No.
Once you posted the podcast, my last appearance, he was the first call I received. He loved it.
There's a guy who watches every week,
Yes, he
real
does.
time. He loves that. No, I know. I love Adam Silver,
Yes.
and I think he's done an amazing job.
He has.
Yeah, he has, and it's not an easy job because players are very different than they were, 20 years ago. Even coaches say, you can't yell at this generation of players.
Right. I think you can. I think personally you can.
You better have a lot of stature.
It depends. There you go. There you go. You're Eric Spoelstra, you're Steve Kerr,
Yeah.
you're people like that. You can yell
You're
at
right.
players. If you're a coach
Right.
with significantly less cachet,
Right.
you better shut the fuck up. you better tread lightly. Otherwise, it's gonna be a problem.
So Aaron Rodgers was here,
Yep.
but I don't know.
I love Aaron Rodgers,
I
but
do
he's
too.
having an awful season. Awful.
It's just as a huge Aaron Rodgers fan, and Jets too. I mean, when I was a kid, people always say, "Were you a Giants or a Jets fan?" I say, "We were both. Why
Right.
wouldn't we be? We were New York area. That were the teams. Why shouldn't I avail myself?"
Right.
We were thrilled when Joe Namath won it in '69.
But it's a damn shame
And
that they haven't won since
I
89.
learned football watching the Giants on my father's knee.
Right.
If I had to pick, it would be the Giants first because there's a sentimental value.
Right.
I took my father to the Super Bowl when it was out here in '86
Right.
against the Broncos in Pasadena, using like my last bit of checking account money to get him out here and get a
Right.
ticket to that game.
Right.
Nosebleed seats, but
Yeah.
he was a Giant fan since they were inception
Right.
practically. So, but we had such hopes for the Jets, and, is it just that time caught up? Because they thought they had a great roster.
Aaron Rodgers, respectfully, Aaron Rodgers fucked up. Here's how this happened. In Green Bay, he is spectacular. I think that Aaron Rodgers is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the history of NFL.
Four-time MVP.
As a talent.
That's
But
a lot. That's a lot of MVPs.
That's fair. But he hasn't been back to the Super Bowl since he won it in 2010.
Yeah, not all his fault.
So, of course not. Of course not. But what I'm saying is that when you're in Green Bay, you're letting everybody know that the organization doesn't appreciate you enough. They don't appreciate your football IQ. They don't appreciate your evaluation of talent. They don't appreciate your greatness that you've displayed at Lambeau Field on the football field for them for over a decade. And
Right.
you say you've given every indication you want to be appreciated. You want to be respected. You want to be given the level of deference that others, to say Tom Brady's, the Peyton Manning's, the John Elway's of the world, and others have received. And the Jets give it to you. And this is the result. Now, last year doesn't count because you got hurt the 4th play of the game. The 4th play of the game.
Yeah.
Game 1 of the NFL season. You can't control getting injured and all of this other stuff.
No,
but you've been there this year. And your offense has sucked. And oh, by the way.
Why?
No,
But
well,
why? What is it that
I think
what
they had
went wrong?
I think they had a defensive-minded coach in Rodgers Salah, that you didn't have an offensive mind, and you deferred to Aaron Rodgers. You deferred to what he said he needed, what he said he wanted, what he said would work, and then you went out and got your ass kicked. Now that's where it hurts. Now, if you had an offensive
But why
minded
doesn't Aaron Rodgers know? He knows as well as anybody. Like, he couldn't be an offensive coordinator in the league right now?
You have people who believe, Bill, like you have producers and editors and stuff like that working on your podcasts and your shows. Yeah, you're the last say, but you're going to know how and when to be deferential. If you are somebody like an Aaron Rodgers who was never in a position where anybody had to be that way towards you, and then suddenly you're empowered, now it becomes a bit tricky because ultimately you want to make all the damn decisions. Now, he'll deny it, but nobody believes him. Nobody believes. Like, for example, Woody Johnson, the former ambassador to Great Britain, by the way, under the Trump administration. Also, so suddenly he comes back to the Trump. Suddenly he comes back to the New York Jets as the owner. He takes over from his brother, who he relinquished control to for the time that he was being the ambassador to Great Britain. Suddenly he's going to come back in the fold and he's going to say, yo, I'm going to fire Robert Saleh without talking to Aaron Rodgers. Nobody believes that. Alan Lazard comes from Green Bay to the New York Jets. You had nothing to do with that. Nobody's going to believe that. You think Devontae Adams coming to the New York Jets, all right, after not being there and depart from Green Bay to be with the Las Vegas Raiders? We know you had something to do with
plainly,
that.
Aaron Rodgers was playing general manager of the Jets.
Without question.
Okay.
And that's where his legacy is going to be hurt.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So you're saying they gave too much power.
No, I'm not saying they did, because I would have given it to him too. I'm saying once he got it, he messed up. Like, we got to call balls and strikes. At the end of the day, they weren't wrong for giving him the power. You were wrong with the decisions you made once you had the influence that you swore you deserved. And once you got it, you didn't produce results.
Boy, being an athlete's like being a hot chick. I mean,
How so?
It goes fast.
Well,
like you have your peak where all the guys are buzzing around you. What?
I gotta admit to you, bro, I see some honeys out here that's in their 50s looking better than honeys in their 20s and 30s. I can't say
That's
that, Bill.
ridiculous, but okay.
That's not ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Bill, there's some sisters. I'm gonna speak.
Okay.
I'm gonna speak for some of the black women out here.
Maybe in the picture in Us magazine, but come on, let's get real. This is Club Random. I mean, the corruption of the flesh happens to us all.
Yes,
we're just not as physically attractive in our 50s as in our 20s.
Bill,
in our 20s, you have to almost work to not be.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Uh-oh.
Can I ask you a personal question? Do you? I mean, we on Club Random, right? We on Club Random.
Yeah.
Do you like voluptuous women?
No.
You don't?
No.
Really?
No.
What's wrong with you?
What am I under oath? No, I don't.
What's wrong with you? I mean, I got to take a drink on that, Bill. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with
hips, thighs, legs.
All right, I'll say it. I'm white.
Okay, so you like them real thin. You like them real thin and skinny.
I like what they call an athletic body, swimmer's body. Mm-hmm. Yes. I mostly fuck small boys. No.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
That's ridiculous.
I'm just saying to you, I'm not saying most, because you're absolutely right. For the most part, you're absolutely right. But I got to tell you, there's some women out here in their 40s and 50s that look better than they looked when they were in their 20s and 30s.
To you. Everything is to you or to me. But I find that ridiculous. I mean,
that's not ridiculous.
Certainly not.
I wish I could put them on front so I could show you the evidence. Because I have evidence, Bill. Evidence.
I've seen your evidence. I know you got a hard on for Michelle Obama, and it's great that you have your thing because
I don't have a hard on for. I mean, she's just,
well. I mean, I'm just saying she's a beautiful woman.
She's a beautiful woman.
I agree. But Picasso used to sleep with very young women, and they tried to come after him about that.
They should have.
And I'm sure they should have if they were underage.
Yes.
But his response was, "I'm an artist. I think I know what beauty is, okay? Get out of my studio."
Right.
And, look, I look at pictures of myself when I'm younger. I'm better looking. I'm sorry, I can't pretend.
I will say this to you. For me, can I speak about me personally? I definitely feel that way about me in my 20s. Me in my 30s and my 40s, I think I look better now than I did then.
But you know what?
And then I looked over the last 20, 25 years.
You're the luckiest guy in the world.
I am very lucky. I'm very lucky.
If you like women in that age range, because you're getting the best of both worlds. Yes. If you find them the most attractive, they're also, like, of course, easier to deal with usually because they're more world seasoned, smarter.
So the older women?
Yes.
I don't.
And they're
we don't agree on that.
They're not.
I mean, I will accept the fact
they're not smarter.
No, they're definitely smarter.
Okay.
But you said I'm talking about the easier to deal with. Oh, hell to the no.
Well, not if you get
hell to the no.
No, I mean easier to deal with in the sense of, like, girls who are 20 are like, my pussy is golden. And girls are 50 are like, are we going to do it or what?
I find, but you missed. Here's where you messed up. You missed the 30s and the 40s where they do think it's golden. Like, ain't nothing better than this. Okay? And it's like, you do understand there's a billion out there that that could potentially be better. You do
So
understand.
you never got married, right?
Never.
Me neither.
Never.
We're like the last two.
I will say to you that eventually I think I will, because it's more than being single and being able to, sex whoever I want. I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that. I've had my
course.
promiscuous years,
Yeah.
and they were lovely.
Yeah.
And I must say,
Why do they have to
Let's get a
end?
toast to that. Let's get a toast.
Why do they?
I mean, it really was lovely, and I can say that respectfully because I wasn't a liar.
Why kiss goodbye to lovely?
I wasn't one of those dudes that was a liar. I would let somebody know, look, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
If you're with me, this is what you get.
I was the same way.
I'm not that dude. But I will
still don't know why we have to bury lovely.
But I will tell you that, when you get older,
yes,
there is something to be said about, that companionship,
absolutely.
that person that you want to be around.
Oh, I'm very different.
And here's the biggest thing for me, and I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but I'm interested in hearing how you feel about this. Bill, to me, I had to tell my little nephew, his ignorant ass, because he just doesn't know any better. He's clueless, but I'm here for him. He's about 35. My nephew Josh.
Oh, I thought I was picturing a 10-year-old.
No. He's ignorant as shit.
Okay.
But I love him to death. He's like a son to me, but he's my nephew.
Okay.
And I'm like, here's what happens. You get to a point, and I say to him, forget the woman that excites you. It's the woman you're comfortable being bored with.
I could not disagree more.
Really?
Yeah.
You really feel that way?
I not only feel that way, I feel like I've learned that lesson the hard way.
Okay.
You can pretend that that's the thing. Like, I remember when I got to a certain age and I thought, oh yeah, you know what? I'm not like needing to have sex like 24/7 anymore. And sex is great, but like, no, I could be 1,000 years old, and even if it's just 1 minute a week, it's still, water flows downhill. It's just the heart wants what it wants. I don't know.
I agree with that part.
It's just the glue that holds things together, and for me anyway. And when you don't have the glue, I've told this story before, but I said to a girl once, it's like the relationship is the plane, and the sex is the fuel.
Hold on. Let me not mess up with your audience by acting like I was talking about sex being boring. That is not what I was talking about. I'm not talking about the sex. The sex got to be what it needs to be. I'm talking about you upstairs watching Law and Order. She's downstairs watching whatever.
Sure.
It doesn't matter to you, is what I'm saying. You don't have to be up under one another. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying the sex has to be good. There has to be a level of compatibility.
That's when you should be under one another.
There you go. But I'm
sex.
just saying you don't necessarily have to be all excited by her 24/7 outside of the bedroom.
That's true, but that's why I've never really lived with anybody or thought that was a great idea, because I feel like I don't want to see people at their worst, and I don't want them to see me at my worst. Like, a lot of life is disgusting. The bathroom, I could go on.
Excuse me for asking, how many siblings do you have?
One.
Okay. I have 5.
Yeah.
4 older sisters. So when you talk about not seeing them at their worst, I grew up accustomed to seeing at their worst.
Yeah, but I grew up also like smelling other people's shit. We had one bathroom that we all use. It's like, it is.
My mother was like Mother Teresa, let aunts, uncles, cousins, and stuff like that come live with us. And so even though we only had one working bathroom, so I've seen women without makeup, the hair's not done, and I don't. It doesn't faze me. My whole point is this: when we go out, are you ready?
I'm not saying.
Are you ready?
I'm not saying going into a bathroom after someone else is just taking a shit is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, but it's pretty close.
Exactly.
Yes. It's pretty close.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Pretty close.
It's just about the worst thing in the world.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. But I'm just saying, for me personally, it's like, as I've gotten older, and I'm happy about it, Bill, because here's what I don't want. I'm 57. How old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay, yes, sir. Here's my deal. I don't want to be one of those dudes in my 60s.
Me neither.
At the club. At the club.
At the club.
Hoping, praying that I run into.
No.
I don't want to be that dude. I like the fact
That's
that
why you have to be a success in life.
That's right.
Because otherwise you
they'll
have
come to you.
you be at the club.
That's right, because when you're successful, they'll come to you. You don't have to go to them.
To a degree, that's true. Like there's a certain point in life where I think it's very fair to say, I've been chasing girls all my life. Now it's time for you to chase me.
I don't chase.
Exactly.
I don't chase.
Right.
Shit.
First of all, if you do, you just look bad.
Yeah.
You can't chase.
I'm not doing
at
that.
At our age.
I'm not doing that at all.
It's just unseemly.
No. Hello, how you doing? You look very, very beautiful. I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep it moving.
Well, that's kind of chasing.
Now, that's not chasing. That's not chasing. Keep it moving.
Even that. Well, once you say beautiful, you're kind of hitting on somebody.
I'm just saying. No, not at all.
You're putting it out there.
Not at all. I've seen women who have made had a ring on their finger.
Would you say it to me? No. If you wouldn't say it to a man, if you wouldn't say it to a man, it's flirting.
I'm not a homosexual, so I wouldn't say that to a man.
Oh, well, again, this is not what I read in the bio.
Okay. Oh, you damn sure should have.
Again.
But I'm just saying,
am I getting bad information in this bio?
Oh, you damn sure didn't read that in the bio. But I'm just saying to you that I have no problem I've been complimentary to many women. I've had no interest in whatsoever. I'm just like, yo, you a nice outfit, you look good, whatever.
Yeah,
keep it moving. You keep it moving.
Right.
It's no big deal. But I'm not, I can tell you this much. I don't give a damn how fine you are. I stopped chasing more than a decade ago.
Well, let me tell you, if your thing is women in their 50s and you put it out there.
50s, 40s.
Well, you just said.
50s, 40s.
I'm telling you.
I got flexibility. I got a girl, so I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
Let me throw that out there.
Right. But by the way, that makes you even more attractive to them.
That's right.
One thing women hate is a guy who doesn't have someone who they have to get rid of.
Two things. That. You're right on the money, no matter what they're willing to admit. Here's number two. I have two daughters. When they were younger, they're teenagers now, 16 and 15. When they were younger, oh my Lord, Bill. I mean, all I had to do was walk in a supermarket or a mall with one of them. It was a wrap.
Pussy trap, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, people, this is really true. This is really true. I walked in there when my daughter is like a magnet.
Better than a dog.
Absolutely.
Even better than a dog.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that's a reason to have kids, but yeah, there's only one thing that could make you more attractive than having your daughter in the supermarket. The wife dead. If you were a widower. Because that shows that you can commit, but you didn't leave her.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that.
Well, there is a problem with that. You need a dead wife.
The conversation has to take place for the person to find out you're a widower. With the child, you don't have to have any conversation.
It could take 2 seconds. Does this melon look ripe to you? Yes, my wife is dead. They will not be offended by that.
I don't know about that, man. You might be right, though.
Does this parsley look fresh?
I don't know.
My wife is dead. That's all you got to do.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I got a buzz, and I've been drinking. But go ahead.
No.
Yeah, I'm good.
You want to go?
No, man, I'm good. I'm straight, man. I'm straight. I'm having a good time.
I got about 10 more minutes in me before I go to pee.
Sure. Same here. I mean, I got to piss right now, but I can hold it for the next 10 minutes.
What did we not get to, do you think?
Politics. I don't think we got to enough politics.
Great. Politics.
That's your lane.
That's my lane.
That's right.
Well,
Democrats fucked up.
My candidate that I voted for did not win, but but that's happened before.
Same here.
And I'm like reading the riot act to the left this week, and I'm thrilled about it. Then we have another show, one more show after that. That's the end of our season. So we're doing show Friday, the 15th, and then the 22nd. So I'm going to hit the left hard this week, which I think is absolutely apropos.
I think it is as well. I completely
because I
support
see, I mean, look, there's a lot to hate already about what the other new regime is doing. I mean, some of the appointments are pretty crazy.
What is it, Hegseth from Fox News, the defense secretary?
Yeah. Can you take a week before you get apoplectic about what they might do to talk about what you did do?
Or didn't do.
How you fuck this up? Because my point at the end of this thing Friday is that I'm pissed at the Democrats because my issues, democracy, the environment, have no protectors now. Because you blew the election, I have nobody standing up for the two issues that are my issues.
Which is?
Democracy and the environment. To my two most important issues. Those are not priorities in the new administration.
Okay.
In fact, they're antagonistic to both of them.
Right.
So I have no champion in Washington. They have the courts, they have the House and the Senate, and you totally left me unguarded.
Here's my issue.
I don't follow hockey, but there's probably a goalie analogy.
Here's my issue, generally speaking. We can talk to the economy, immigration, crime in the streets, blah, blah, blah. Here's my ultimate issue. The arrogance of the Democratic Party.
I'm saying the same thing.
The arrogance of it. We're saying the same thing in two different ways. The arrogance of the second Democratic Party. So Biden doesn't decide to run for reelection. You grease the skid so he doesn't have to go through a primary. June 27th, he shows up and he embarrasses himself. And it positions naturally for the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, to ultimately ascend and become the Democratic nominee. But the last time we saw her in a primary, she couldn't make it to Iowa. Did you really, really think that was going to work? And then here's what you did. Did you discuss the economy enough? No. You could have discussed the border because unlike Obama, who was quote unquote the deported in chiefs, according to the Republicans, because he deported more immigrants than Trump did.
According to not just Republicans, but Democrats. There were Democrats who called him that.
He deported more immigrants than Trump, which means he just didn't talk about it, but he did it. Biden walks into office and day one, you sign an executive order that opens the border and you let more than 12 million immigrants cross the border illegally, and you don't think that's going to be a problem? You knew that the governors DeSantis and in Florida, Abbott in Texas, and others were going to sit up there and attack sanctuary cities by busing these immigrants to your city since you had no problem with it. You were ill prepared to deal with it, okay? All of this stuff was going on. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, so your plan for this election was to come to women and say, forget the economy, forget immigration. Roe v. Wade was overturned. It's now a states' right issue as opposed to a federal issue. You thought that was going to be enough? You thought it was going to be enough for you to look at black men and say to black men, you're misogynistic and chauvinistic, and that's the reason why you're not voting for Kamala Harris? You thought it was going to be enough for the Latinos to bring up immigration when you're not paying attention enough that the Cubans think different than the Dominicans, and the Cubans think different than the Colombians, and they think different than the Venezuelans and the Guatemalans and the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of these Latinos in America want the borders closed. You didn't pay attention to that? You're from California. You were a district attorney here. You were a state attorney general here. You were a senator representing here, and you didn't know that the Latinos were going to say, yo, we don't like open borders? You didn't know that?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at it and I'm saying all of these things are going on. All of these things are going on. And your argument essentially was, you didn't say it, but this is essentially your argument. It's her turn. It's her turn. No, the Republicans don't play that. They say, hell with all of that, whose turn it is. We want him. Who do the Democrats want? If you ask them today, they still don't know. They said Kamala because it was too late to say anybody else. But you didn't know who they would say if there was a primary. And also because the Democratic Party is ideologically captured by identity politics. I'm totally with you 1,000%. Listen, I'm a big, Bill, just so you know, I'm a fiscal conservative. I'm a social liberal. Live and let live, bro. And a freak in the sheets. You know what I'm saying? If you're 50, I do try. Give us a call. I do try, no doubt. But here's the deal, man. Listen, I'm a social liberal. And what I mean by that is gay rights, absolutely. Transgender rights and all this stuff. I got no issues with you. I don't want anybody. I'm a black man. I don't want anybody's civil rights violated. I don't want anybody being persecuted in the streets of America. I don't want you being mistreated. I don't want you being denied the same rights that I have. That's fine. But the Democrats took it too far because it wasn't just about their rights. You wanted folks to like and embrace and accept everything. Excuse me. There are some people that, guess what? They might watch prostitution, but they ain't fucking with them. They might like porn stars, but they ain't messing with them. They might like strippers, but they ain't messing. It's all right. Do you? But I don't want it in my face. You got people that think like that, and knowing that that's the reality, and knowing that that doesn't even make up 1% of the population, you are caught on tape, if you're Kamala Harris, saying, quote, I'm for transgender operations for prisoners. You didn't think Trump was going to use that? I'm just saying, like, this is why I say, I voted for Kamala Harris, but I can't deny that strictly from a campaign perspective, Bill, he was the better candidate because he played to his constituents.
In their defense, they had a meeting and they decided that free tits for murderers was a good slogan.
Okay. And where did that get them? Because in the end, when you're trying to pay your bills,
but here's the
and you got peace in the streets that you worried about, you're not going for that.
Here's the silver lining.
You're trying to win.
I think the election showed we're much less racially tribal than we thought we were. I mean, Trump is a strange guy to bring together all these different coalitions, but he like won Latino men.
13%. They said it was a 13% jump.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever
Latino
it was.
Votes and a 5% jump in the black vote, and even more of that amongst black men. That's what they said.
Yeah. And did better, young. I mean, just like we're not really divided so much along the lines that the media paints us in.
Right. We're more of a centrist nation. The fringes on the MAGA right and the extreme left, the squad and all of that, those are the fringes. Most of Americans are center left or right.
Yeah, and most Americans are just anti-crazy.
Right.
I mean, I have a line in the thing I'm doing Friday that Democrats run campaigns now like the voters don't live here. Like they don't live here.
Right.
And like they don't like go to Starbucks and the office and the store. And they do. And they see women and people of color, and it doesn't look like a racist patriarchal nightmare. It doesn't look like that.
Right.
And so if that's what the Democrats are selling, they
don't know what the hell they're selling. What they want to do, and listen, I'm just going to say it plain. The Democrats have gotten on my last damn nerve.
Me too.
If it wasn't for Trump, I would have voted Republican because I'm so sick of how they are. It's always about the other side and engaging in demagoguery for you to get my vote as opposed to really articulating what you're bringing to the table to offer me
and they're so
and my community.
And they're snobby.
And they're snobby. They don't cater to the working class. They cater to the elite, and then they accuse the Republicans of doing it.
They won't even listen to them. There's a lot of stories now in the news about people who have been saying in the media. There was this Yale psychologist who said it on CNN, I think, that, or maybe it was MSNBC, that if you have a relative who voted for Trump, cut them off. Don't see them for the holidays. Don't see them for the holidays.
Really?
This is what got you into this mess.
Exactly.
Take the clothespin off your nose and talk to the other side of the country because you don't have a monopoly on being smart. In fact, I could prove how stupid you were on a million things, and you wouldn't even talk to the other side.
Educate me about this. I've held this against the Democrats for years, and I've said it publicly. So let's go to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Obama is in office. He's there. You know he's going to select a liberal to be on a higher court. You know this. According to the reports, if they're wrong, I apologize. But according to the reports, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, former Supreme Court Justice, who was approaching her 80s, if not in her 80s.
And very sick.
Who had health issues, cancer being one of them, didn't want to step down at the behest of the Obama administration because she wanted her successor to be selected by a female. Now, let me say this, Bill, okay? The Democrats lose me when I never hear them mention that. And here's why. Respectfully to this former great Supreme Court justice who did a lot of good. You put your own personal preferences against the interests of the country, according to you and your ideology, what you believe would best serve this country. Because you said, you assumed, arrogantly, I might add, Hillary Clinton was going to beat Donald Trump. And then when Hillary Clinton failed to beat Donald Trump because he got more of the Electoral College vote than the popular vote, okay, the court was able to be swung 6-3 instead of 5-4. You did that. They never talk about it. They never talk about it. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all. All she had to do was retire
And by the way,
let the liberal president select the Supreme Court justice. And because you didn't do that, not only is the court swung 6-3, it's on the verge of swinging 7-2, because now you got people saying Sonia Sotomayor is going to step down because she's had health issues with diabetes. She's in her 70s. She's 70 years of age.
Well, she's not.
And now listen, you had one pundit literally advocate she should step down now, so Biden could insert another liberal into the court that's going to be there for years to come.
Yeah.
This is what you've regressed to purely for arrogance. Nothing else.
Obama did have Ruth Bader Ginsburg for lunch when she was Supreme Court Justice in a kind of a, wouldn't it be great to spend more time with the grandkids kind of way?
How about that?
He did try.
Yes, he
to
did.
move her along.
I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming her.
I called Biden Ruth Bader Biden.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
A long time before he started, because I said, you're going to be the Ruth Bader Biden of presidents. And that's exactly the case. I mean, a lot of people are blaming the whole thing on the fact that he wouldn't get out.
You're right. And he deserves
embarrassed
it,
the party, looked like the party was the party of doddering old men. And then, as you say, the whole thing, it is what it is. We are where we are. And, all I can say is, as I conclude here, I'm not going to lose my shit until it happens. I did that when the first Trump administration. I'm not going to chase every silly thing they say.
Right.
I'm just not going to do it. Like, could he blow up the world on the first day? Absolutely. And put thousands of people in Guantanamo? I don't know what he could do. He's too unpredictable. I don't think he knows what he could do. But I'm just not going to lose my nervous system until it happens. So, and am I pissed off at the people who put me in this position? I am. You were supposed to be my protector and a lot of people's protectors, and you blew it with your boutique issues and your bullshit woke nonsense that the country rejected, again, across lines.
Across lines.
And so
blacks, Latinos, whites, white women, white men,
right,
everybody.
If there's anything good to come out of this, it's that you and I, who I read from your bio. All right. Thank you.
Man, thank you so much, bro.
Go back to work. That's always so much fun. Now, a handshake won't do it.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much, man. I had a good time.
Each other's excuse for getting drunk.
I'm a little tipsy.
Each other's excuse for getting drunk. There's a lot of that's a bond.
You're the only
that's
place.
A bond.
That's a bond. You're the only place where I ever get a little tipsy. No doubt about it.
Did you know that heat holders make so much more than just socks? They've got the warmest hats, gloves, and more. Choose what you need for whatever cold you're facing. Receive an amazing 25% off your heatholders.com order this week only through Cyber Monday by entering the code RANDOM25. Plus, receive free shipping with any purchase of $25 or more. One last time, go to heatholders.com and use the code RANDOM25 to save 25% off through Cyber Monday today.